Hello my dear students, welcome to CMI's online classes. In today's class, we will continue with chapter 5 of our English grammar, that is verbs. And in this video, we will understand transitive and intransitive verbs as well as finite and non-finite verbs. Students, let's start today's chapter. Students, let's start today's discussion with the explanation of transitive and intransitive verbs with their definition and examples. So, transitive verbs are those verbs which have objects in sentences to make a meaningful sentence. Or intransitive verbs are those verbs which are meaningful without the use of any object. Object or objects. Object means noun or pronoun which receives the action done by the subject. So if the sentence has the objects done by the subject, that means if the sentence carry the object which receives the action done by the subject, then the verb is transitive verb. And if the verb in a sentence doesn't carry any object or meaningful without the use of object, then that verb is intransitive verb. So let us see some more examples in the book here. So you can see the examples here in the book also. Here are more examples of transitive verbs. Here, he wrote a letter. See, the action word wrote is here. The word wrote is verb here. So this action is being done by the subject he here. So he is the subject of the sentence. But if you see, he wrote, the action of writing, but what did he write? He write a letter. So if you ask the question after the verb what, then you will find the object. What or who or whom, we will find the object of the verb. That means another noun or pronoun that are used after the verb to give the sentence a meaningful sense. That means here he wrote what? Letter. So letter is the noun that has been used after the verb wrote here. That means letter is receiving the action of the subject here. So this is, letter is the noun which is receiving the action of the subject he here. So here the verb is complete with the meaning after giving an object later here. So here the verb is transitive verb, like she sang a song. Next example, she sang a song. So what is the action word here? Sang. Sang is the past form of the verb sing. So the action is being done by the subject she. So what has she sung? She has sung a song here. Song is the another noun here. So here the word song is an object. So the verb here has an object to give a meaningful sense. So the verb here is transitive verb because it has an object, like mother pushed the trolley. So mother pushed the trolley. So the action word pushed here. Pushed is the past form of push, verb push. So who is the doer of the action here? The doer of the action is mother. So mother is the subject here. So what has mother pushed? Mother has pushed the trolley. So the trolley is the another noun which has been used here, and this noun trolley is receiving the action of the subject mother. So we can understand object as the receiver of the action. So object is receiving the action being done by the subject. So here the verb pushed has the object, another noun, trolley. So here the verb push is transitive verb because it is meaningful after the use of the another noun which is used as an object here. So the verb push is transitive verb here. Okay, but now if you see the another some examples given here, now read these sentences. They run, birds fly, it rains, the artist painted, so the baby sleeps. So these all are the clauses. Okay, and these here they run. If I say they run fast also, they run fast, it is giving us some meaning. So they run fast. So here the verb run is being done by the subject they. So the word fast is adverb here because it tells us about how the subject run. But the word fast is not a noun, it is an adverb. So here the sentence is giving us a meaning without the use of any object. So here this the verb doesn't have any object. So here the verb run is an intransitive verb. In the same way, birds fly. Birds fly. We don't have any other object after this. So the subject here doesn't have any object, only the verb is here. So here the verb is intransitive verb. In the same way, all other verbs here are used without any object because so here the verbs used are intransitive verbs. Intransitive verbs do not carry any object. Sometimes they are qualified with the use of adverbs but not any object. So the verbs which do not carry any object to give a meaningful sense, they are called intransitive verbs. I hope you have understood transitive and intransitive verbs. Transitive verbs carry objects. Objects means another nouns or pronouns which receive the action done by the subject. And if the subject has object in sentences, in that case the action or the verb done by the subject, if they have object, that means another nouns or pronouns to give meaningful sense, these verbs are called transitive verbs. Understood? Otherwise, if the verbs do not carry any objects or give a meaningful sense, in that case verbs are intransitive verbs. I hope you have understood the explanation of transitive and intransitive verbs. We can take some more examples from this exercise. It is written there, state whether the highlighted verbs are transitive or intransitive verbs. So if the verbs are transitive, you have to write T. If the verbs are intransitive, you have to write IT. So here in sentence number 1, it is written, I played all evening. So here the highlighted word played is verb here. So the subject is I here, but here the verb is giving us meaningful sense without the use of any object. All evening, this is adverb. Okay, so here the verb played is intransitive verb. That means we have to write IT. In the same way, if you see the sentence number 2, he gave the bouquet to the teacher. So here the verb gave is performed by the subject he, but it also has the another object here, the bouquet and teacher. Bouquet and teacher. So he gave what? Bouquet. To whom? Teacher. So a sentence may have one or more than one object. There are two kinds of objects. One is called direct object and another is called indirect object. Direct object, if you question after the verb what, we will get direct object here. So here bouquet is the direct object. Okay, and if you question after the verb to whom or for whom, then we will get indirect object here. Here we have two objects here in this sentence. He gave the bouquet. What did he give? Bouquet. So bouquet is the direct object here, and the teacher is indirect object here, because to whom, if we question after the verb gave, to whom did he give? To the teacher. So teacher is indirect object. So again I am telling you, if you question after the verb what, or if that noun or pronoun which are nouns or pronouns which are used as object receives the direct action of the subject, they are called direct object. Okay, and the nouns or pronouns which are used as objects receives the action through the main object or the direct object, they are called indirect object. Okay, because here the teacher is receiving the bouquet. So here teacher is first, the action is of taking bouquet and it is going to teacher. Okay, so here teacher is indirect object. In the same way we have they laughed at the clown. Next example, they laughed. The laughed is verb here. So the action of laughing is being done to clown. So here the clown is an object, so the verb laughed is transitive verb. Okay, understood? So I hope you have understood transitive and intransitive verbs. Now let's discuss about finite and non-finite verbs. So I have already told you that verbs, each main verb or each action word has five forms which we know in the sentences by their uses as B1, B2, B3, B4, B5. These forms of verbs, B1, B2, B3, B4 and B5, verb 1, verb 2, verb 3, verb 4 and verb 5. These verbs are changed in sentences according to the use of number of subjects, or according to the tenses we prefer in writing the sentences. If the verb changes in sentences according to the number of subject, then those verbs are called finite verb. Like we live in India. So here verb is live here. So we is the subject here. So we is plural subject. If I change the subject here, if I write she here, it becomes she lives in India. So here verbs, the form of verb is changing when I am changing the subject, number of subject. And if these verbs changed according to the number of subject, okay, or according to the tense, okay, the sentence refer, then those verbs are called finite verbs. Okay, like she opened the door. Here she opened the door. The verb opened is performed by the subject she here. So here if I change this sentence into present tense, it becomes she opens the door. So here again the form of verb is changing. Opened became opens here. She is singular, so opens. Okay, B5. Understood? B5 is the singular form of verb. So here verb is changing according to the number of subject. So here this verb is finite verbs. Finite verbs are all those verbs which change their form according to the change in the number of subject and the tense that are followed in the sentences. Now see these examples. Mother was watching television. Mother was watching television. See, here the action word watching is performed by the subject mother. But if you change the subject here, this verb will not change. Okay, if you say like father was watching television. Okay, we were watching television. So watching will remain same. It will not change according to the number of subject. Okay, so this is non-finite verbs. This is non-finite verbs. Again, if you see the next example, she went to Germany. See here, she went to Germany. So here, to learn German. So here, to learn is also a verb. Okay, but if you change the subject also, this verb to learn will not change. Like we went to Germany to learn German. So here, whenever you change any subject, this verb will not change. So those verbs which do not change according to the number of subject or tense, it remains unaffected with the use of subject and tense. They are called non-finite verb. See here, I have won the match. See here, won is the B2 form of the verb win, but here I have won the match. See here, this verb will not change its form, however I change this subject. Okay, she has won the verb. She has won the match. If I say she has, it will again the verb will remain same, won. Okay, otherwise I had won the match. So I had, I had. If I use had also, this main verb is not changing. So if those action words which do not remain changed, or we do not change according to the number of subject, they are not finite verbs, they are non-finite verbs. See here, swimming is a best exercise. Here swimming is a verb, but here it is used as the subject here. So swimming is the best exercise. Here the verb swimming has been used as the subject, that means has been used as a noun. So being a verb, here it is used as a subject, so it is non-finite verb. So non-finite verbs are those verbs which do not change with the use of tenses or often used as other parts of speech. Like here swimming, noun. Okay, here if you see, the sleeping cow caused a traffic jam. So here the sleeping cow caused a traffic jam. See here, the main verb is caused here, but if you see the word sleeping here, though it is a verb, because it is though it is a verb, it is used as an adjective. Okay, so here sleeping is the B4 form of the verb sleep, but here it has been used to qualify the noun cow here. Okay, so it is used as an adjective, but we know that this is the form of verb. This is verb, but and so being verb, here the word sleeping is used as an adjective. So as I told you that non-finite verbs are used as other parts of speech, like here adjective, so it is non-finite verb. Understood? So there are three kinds of non-finite verbs. They are, one is infinitive, another is participles, and gerund. There are three types of non-finite verbs. One is infinitives, another is participles, and the last one is gerunds. So we will understand the kinds of non-finite verbs, infinitives, participles and gerunds in our next video, or we can also discuss about these kinds of non-finite verbs in class itself. So this much for today's class. I hope you have understood the explanation of finite and non-finite verbs too.